Wherever love goes, there is also misery. It's no mystery. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love flows, there is also tragedy when we're in too deep. And you and I, we got...
Hey, what's up guys? Benny here, and welcome to my very first Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer video, where I was very lucky enough to be invited to an early hands-on session of the game, where I decided to go ahead and use every single weapon that was available in the build, so I could show you them all in one single video. I'm talking assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, sniper rifles, the lot, they're all going to be in this single video. And I'll also explain how the creator class system works, gunsmith, and everything else I learned about the game. But before we get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because 70% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel, and I'm going to have so much Black Ops Cold War content right here on the channel that you're not going to want to miss out on. Also, do go ahead and let me know down in the comments what your favorite gun is from this video and you're most looking forward to using. But this gun, first of all, the AK-74U, I think most people who played the game agreed it was the best weapon. It was the SMG of your dreams. It was powerful, it was really mobile, and it was probably the easiest to make a great class with in the gunsmith, which we'll get onto in a second. But I loved using this thing, and some of you may notice I had 8 attachments on that AK-74U. It was an iconic Black Ops weapon easily. Then we've got the XM4. Now this is the top assault rifle in the category. And I've always been an assault rifle player. It's what weapons I always kind of lean towards. So I was very keen to try out every single assault rifle and a huge variety of builds, including different scopes, because we know from Warzone how big of an impact different scopes have. But let's talk creator class. Okay, so creator class is back, and it seems to be a very hybrid system to what we've had in previous Call of Duty. So you've got you pick your 2 weapons, you've then got your tactical, you've got your grenade, you also have a field device, which is a new thing, which is really, really cool actually. Then you've got your perks, which we're all used to. But then they also threw in wild cards, which you may remember from like Black Ops 2, which is great to have back in the game, because it's going to give you so many customization options, and I'm so excited to see the variety of builds that people come up with, because if you want an overkill class, you're not going to have 8 attachments on your weapon, or you're not going to have 6 perks, but you might just want all the perks from perk 3. There's a lot of wild cards that change and alter the builds drastically, which was a cool thing to see, and I'm glad they've brought it back. But let's talk gunsmith first. First of all, the Krig 6. This was my favorite assault rifle in the alpha build that we got to get our hands on. Hands down, it's the assault rifle player dreams. It didn't really move that much, as you can see, and it had that kind of feel of the Remington for me from Call of Duty Ghosts, and the consistency of its shots. And that is probably, from my hands-on experience, my back, going to be the assault rifle that everyone decides to use in competitive and Warzone, however that works. But the creator class, gunsmith. Okay, so without a wild card, you get to choose 5 attachments, very much like the Modern Warfare gunsmith, and there's 8 different categories for you to choose weapons attachments for, from optics to muzzles to different types of grips. So 8 different options to customize your weapon. And also, they've never gone into as much detail as they have in Black Ops Cold War. So they will give you all the little incremental differences that every single attachment makes. So if a certain grip will give you 15% faster aim down sight speed, but it will punish your sprint out speed by 10%. But then there might be a different grip that will give you 10% faster aim down sight speed, but no punishment to your sprint out speed. So as I said, there's going to be so many different weapon builds and options to get the best loadouts possible, which I'm really excited to see what people come up with and the level of detail people go into. Oh, this is also the first time I called in a streak. I was like, okay, hold on, let me just do this, and I got like a whole bunch of artillery kills, because score streaks have actually changed a lot in Cold War. They don't work how they've worked in previous Call of Duty. So it no longer resets on death, and you'll notice when you're picking up kills, you'll get it in yellow text that says streak ×3, for example. Now what that is is every kill you get, you're going to get more points towards your score streak. So if you go on a big streak, you're going to get a high multiplier and be able to get your streaks a lot quicker compared to someone that's getting a kill, then dying, then getting another kill. And that will allow you to get those really high-end streaks, but they no longer reset upon death. So everyone sort of got... There was actually a perk, wasn't it, in like support streaks back in Modern Warfare 3, I think it was, where you just kept getting it even if you died. That is effectively the same as this. You're never going to run out of that. Here we've got the AK-47, another classic weapon in the grand scheme of things, and to be perfectly honest, was my least favorite assault rifle that I got to use. It kicked a lot more than a lot of the other weapons. I didn't seem to be as consistent as what you want as an assault rifle. Maybe I just had a bad game because this was the game. Like it's one of the big things I'll let you guys know is whenever you do one of these recording sessions, you're normally up against pro players, YouTubers, and it's a very different experience to when you first hop on and just kind of like play online.
And they're bringing M16,
everyone is trying their best to get the best
MP5
footage they can during the capture session. So leads to some really intense and good gameplay as well, because everyone's doing whatever they can to survive. Sometimes you just can't win them all. But I really enjoyed the maps in the Cold War session, because they've got two different types of maps. They've got those traditional 3-lane competitive map systems, which is going to be great for comp. You've then also got a bit more open world maps, which are some of the larger modes. So we got to play a variety of different modes from 6v6 to 12v12, but there's even a 40-player map mode called Fire Team, I think it is, which we didn't get to play, but I'm so excited for that to see what they kind of do in the larger scale multiplayer modes. But the AK-47, I'm coming to the end of my time with the AK-47. I gave it quite a long period of time because I was like, come on, the AK-74U was so good. Maybe they make the AK-47 really good as well. But this level was called Miami, which you might have seen, and we played domination on this, and we also play a new mode called VIP Escort, which wasn't my favorite, but it kind of showed you like down mechanics and all that sort of stuff, which was cool to see. But there's a few things with Cold War that you should know. Gun skill is king again, and the reason is you'll notice in the gameplay the time to kill is nowhere near as fast as it is in Modern Warfare. So the fights are a little bit more drawn out, so you have to be consistent with your gun skill if you're going to want to do well. And here, using the M16. Now, this wasn't listed under assault rifle category. I think it was called Specials that the M16 was in. It's a 3-shot burst, which is interesting because when I saw the campaign footage, it was actually fully automatic. So it behaves differently in the campaign to compared to multiplayer. But it's a traditional 3-round burst. Doesn't have the fastest time to kill, but I found was really consistent. And I go on one of my highest streaks with this thing. And once again, using 8 attachments, I decided to go down the route of, I'm not going to lean into perks. I'm just going to use weapons as stacked as they can and see what I can do. Because I go ahead and get a chopper gunner here, which is amazing, by the way. And you'll see that in just a second. But I really like Black Ops. Like, Black Ops for me has always been my go-to Call of Duty. Like, I've played Black Ops so much over the years. Like, I remember going on the grind for 300 kills in a single 10-minute game of domination back in Black Ops 2. It's really the game that I properly got into YouTube. But let's go into a few more details of Black Ops Cold War itself. So if we have a look at the minimap, it's back to the traditional minimap, round circle, and also when people fire non-suppressed weapons, they're going to appear on the map. And you'll notice as well in the map, there's a couple areas, some that are fuzzy, and that goes down to your field orders, which if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, I went for the microphone, which I've put down now. And what that does is when people are walking in the nearby area, they will appear on that map. And here we go. We have the chopper gunner, and I got Black Ops 1 flashbacks going into this. There's flying around maps. I don't get the most amount of kills with it because I think a lot of people were running the perk to be off of AI score streaks.
That's nice.
But nonetheless, I do wreck. Now, one of the things that I did notice is you don't always want to be shooting. If you remember back in Black Ops 1, you'd be pretty much just holding down the trigger all the time, just spraying. Because when you're shooting, if you look at the top right, the battery actually goes down a little bit faster compared to when you're just flying around. Maybe that was just my imagination, but that was kind of the impression that I got. So more you shoot, faster you deplete the battery and the quicker you get out. but the less kills you'll get overall. But we won that game. It was really fun. Now this is the VIP mode that I'm talking about. So Jack there goes down. I killed the guy that took him down, but then I'm able to revive Jack and keep him in the mode. Now a player was randomly labeled as the VIP, and you have to escort them to one of the extraction points to win the round, or you kill all the other players. Either or, it works. But a brand new mode to the game. It was interesting in the sense of we weren't all communicating at this time. I feel like it's definitely more of a mode that was geared to competitive. Did enjoy it, but I think it'll be better if you're all on comms and you're playing that way. But I did get one of my best clips, which you're just about to see, using the Type 821, which is an SMG. I feel it took the role of the MP7 maybe.
This is like playing SMG.
In Modern Warfare. It's the closest I can think about it. But another really good SMG. And this is the thing, I'm going to say this a lot from the weapons, but they seem to be really well balanced, other than the AK-74U, which I think was the clear winner, because even at range, it beamed people compared to just up close. But yeah, that was I was really happy with that play in VIP, by the way. Then we went on to this map, which was Combined Arms, which is 12v12, and this is where it gets really interesting with the level of mechanics that they're going to be able to have in Cold War compared to previous Call of Duties. Like, this is one of the biggest maps I've ever played a Call of Duty on. In 12v12, but there's like zip wires from boat to boat. You had these turrets you could use to shoot vehicles down or streaks, and you've got this big main boat in the middle. You've got swimming. My cogs are always turning in this of what kind of mechanics of these can be implemented into Warzone, depending on how they go ahead and do that kind of crossover, which I'm really intrigued about. And let me know what you think about that down in the comments. But once again, I put that field microphone down so I could try and see footsteps if people are coming from different areas. But as I was saying, this map is a really interesting map, just because of the scale and the different movement mechanics around it. And here we go. I picked up that AK-74U with the iron sight. So this wasn't using 5 attachments, which meant the guy that I killed was using double perks. So he had 6 perks rather than 3, which is ridiculous, by the way, because it means that you could have ninja, because yes, dead silence is back. If you want to be quiet moving around the map, you can do that, but that's countered by a perk called tracker, which you'll see as I'm playing, where you'll see footprints along the floor, which I thought was amazing, by the way. If you're trying to like kind of run around in people's spawns and try and come up behind people, use tracker, you're gonna have a much better time of doing that. The XM4 I used in a couple games, because it was actually the first gun that I used in my Cold War session. I was like, oh, it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. But I don't think it's as good as the Krig from my time using it. And the AK, you'll see. It's just not the gun for me. I might have just been having a bad time with it, but not the best guns. Then the MP5. It is back. The MP5, classic Call of Duty weapon from Black Ops 1 to Warzone being the top thing. It's got a much higher fire rate in Cold War than I was expecting, because normally it's kind of got like a nice steady fire rate. It's like 800 rounds per minute. This thing was shooting more like 900 to... Like, look how quickly I go through my magazine. You are not going to be able to take multiple enemies out of that. So, enjoyed it. Also, Type 63. This gave me like Black Ops 2 foul vibes. You could take people... If you got a quick trigger finger, potentially going to be one of the best guns in the game, because if you land those headshots, it's like 2-3 bullet kills on everyone. Was insane. I went on a nice little clip there. I didn't actually use it for too long because I was trying to get through all the weapons. LMGs are interesting. I don't think, because there is no mount mechanic as there is in Modern Warfare, I don't think they're going to be as dominant in certain situations. I used it for a couple games and it did do nicely in certain areas, but I don't think you'll use it over like a Krig, in my opinion. The Stoner was the other LMG that was available. Once again, a bit higher fire rate, but the reload times were dreadful, and is a reason I wouldn't go ahead and use it, because the pace of Black Ops and the time to kill, you can't really afford to be sat there for like 10 seconds reloading. But good all-rounders. I think weapon balancing is really, really good in the game. you'll also notice that there is unlimited sprint. Tactical sprint is gone. There is no tactical sprint in Cold War. So you're not going to see people like you're not going to have to be mashing your left thumbstick anymore like you do in Modern Warfare and Warzone. You're just going to be able to run. There's a little bit of a speed boost when you start sprinting. So if you need to get out of a difficult situation, you go a little bit faster for the very first bit that you're sprinting. And snipers are going to be in Dreamland, by the way. Potentially some of the most fun I've had with a weapon in a long time. There is just something about them. I put on a shorter scope. Like, it reminded me of using the ACOG in the COD 4. But it is so satisfying just to take people out. And I think with mouse and keyboard especially, or if you're a good sniper, there has never been a Call of Duty where snipers are going to be as powerful as they will be in Cold War from my initial experience. Like, I'm using the LW3 Tundra here, and it is insane. It's a bolt action sniper. The time that you can aim down sight and get a shot off. I went up against someone, I can't remember his name, but there was one game where I was just getting clapped over and over and over again by snipers. So if you're a sniper fan, you're going to love Cold War. For my initial first impressions, I just wish I was a better sniper, if I'm honest. But also, slide cancelling, I don't think is going to be a thing. Sliding is in Warzone, is in Black Ops Cold War, but it is not the same without the tactical sprint. Like, you can no longer abuse sliding to kind of keep your tactical sprint going, if that makes sense. And this was the War Machine score streak, which is insane. And yes, there are tanks. I had a heart attack when I saw that. I was not expecting a tank in the game, and then a tank came along, and you'll notice there's a health bar above players and vehicles and score streaks, which is really useful. So you know when like someone hits a helicopter with a rocket and does a load of damage, you'll actually be able to see how much health that helicopter has. Same with enemy players. If you're fighting two people at close range, you'll be able to see their health bars, so you know which target to prioritize if you're hitting multiple people, which I think, and that was the tracker perk I was talking about. You saw little footsteps there. There's also loads of grapples and like rappels all around the map to help with map movement. Like, there is so much detail and so much thought gone into the map design in Cold War. I honestly, we only got to play for a few hours, and I was kind of blown away. Once again, using the Type 821, because I was like, I only used it for a little bit, give it another go. I think there was about 15 different weapons that we got to use in the session. And you've got to remember, this is the alpha version of the game. It's not a beta, it's an alpha. It's a very early version of the game. So there are still going to be changes to weapon balancing, new stuff being added, different maps, modes, all that sort of stuff. And the audio was something that I really picked up on when I was in my play session, because I've always found it difficult in Modern Warfare and Warzone in particular to be able to distinctly tell where enemy players are and enemy footsteps. And that wasn't the case in Cold War. With my headphones on, I was able to pick up footsteps if they weren't using dead silence quite clearly. They went into a whole load of detail about how they've kind of worked and improved the audio engine. So I'm really excited about that. I think that's something that really needed working on. And here I go ahead and use the RPD again, because I was like, you know what? We'll give the LMG another go. I had a game, I wasn't keen on it. And one of the streaks that I've got on there actually takes out all enemy streaks in the sky. So if they've got loads of UAVs up or they've got helicopters, you can call that in. And once again, using a turret just to shoot people on the other ship. If you run out of ammo, or you just need something if you want to set up shop, you can do it. And yes, the War Machine and swimming. I purposely fell off that boat so I could show you swimming. It wasn't because I just forgot there was something behind me, but it worked out quite nicely, if I'm being honest. But yeah, like, we're coming up to the end of my gameplay session of Black Ops Cold War. I had an incredible time playing this game. I'm so excited for what's to come, and I'm gonna have so many more videos on the game. So if you're not, do make sure that you're subscribed. Let me know what your favorite gun was from everything that you saw, because I've gone through them all in this video. I've not wanted to leave anything out, so I've gone through all the snipers, all the LMGs. Do not hip fire with an LMG, by the way. And this was the second sniper, which was called the Pennington 703. Once again, really nice, using that 4x scope, which I think was the sweet spot, because, you know, You can quick scope people again. Look at that ADS. I think it's because I had 8 attachments on it as well. So it was a pretty stacked sniper. But let me know what you think about Black Ops Cold War, and I will see you next time.